Welcome to another masterpiece of mayhem, Cunning criminals. We will cover the heist of the century, the $70 million Antwerp Diamond Robbery. One of the world's most secure vaults reached. See how they did it? It's February 15th, 2003. The day began like any other in Antwerp, Belgium. A cold, quiet morning in one of the world's most iconic diamond trading hubs, where the world's most prized jewels were routinely exchanged in hushed offices and secretive vaults. Inside the Antwerp Diamond Center, nestled in the heart of the city, millions of dollars worth of diamonds lay tucked away in vaults that were thought to be impenetrable. The building, protected by state-of-the-art security systems, was a fortress, but that morning it would all come crumbling down. It wasn't just any heist. This was no ordinary robbery. It wasn't a bunch of masked men with guns or thieves who were desperate for a quick score. No, this was the heist of the century, a meticulously planned, perfectly executed robbery of diamonds worth a staggering $70 million, and the criminals behind it were experts, not just opportunistic thieves. This was a masterstroke of criminal genius. The Antwerp Diamond Center had earned its reputation as one of the safest places in the world for high-value gemstones. Vaults, secure doors, cameras, motion detectors, alarms. The security was so tight that it seemed impossible for anything to go wrong. But it was precisely this overconfidence that allowed the thieves to pull off what has since been regarded as the most audacious and successful diamond heist in history. The mastermind behind the operation was Leonardo Bartolo, an Italian criminal with an extensive history in high-stakes thefts. For months leading up to the heist, Bartolo and his team, known as the School of Turin, spent countless hours studying the building, observing every movement, every routine, and every weakness. They infiltrated the inner workings of the Antwerp Diamond Center, gathering intelligence from the outside. They knew the schedules of the guards, they knew when the cameras were down for maintenance, and most importantly, they knew how to make themselves invisible. In the weeks leading up to the heist, Bartolo and his team spent time in and around the Diamond Center, blending in with the flow of people who came in and out. They posed as contractors, workers, and delivery men. They needed access to the building, and they needed to be in and out without drawing suspicion. Little did the authorities know, the thieves were getting closer to their goal with each passing day. The night before the robbery, they made their move. A series of well-timed, coordinated actions put them right where they needed to be, inside the vaults. No alarms went off, no motion sensors detected their presence. They had successfully bypassed the most sophisticated security systems in the world. With remarkable precision, the team of criminals entered the vault area, disabling cameras and alarms as they moved deeper into the heart of the Diamond Center. In their possession were sophisticated tools designed to bypass the intricate locking mechanisms, tools that had been crafted specifically for this heist. No one would hear them. No one would stop them. They spent the next several hours rummaging through the vaults, carefully selecting diamonds. They weren't in a rush. They knew that time was on their side. They were professionals, after all. They moved quickly, but they did so with care. No diamonds were left behind in the vaults, only a trace of their presence, a few fingerprints here and there, but no clear evidence of who had done this. By the time the heist was discovered the following morning, the thieves were long gone. The vaults, once brimming with diamonds worth tens of millions, were now empty. The Antwerp Diamond Center had been stripped clean, and no one had seen a thing. The police were left with nothing but a trail of questions and confusion. How had they done it? How had such a high-profile, well-secured building been so easily breached? And most importantly, where were the diamonds? The media exploded with coverage of the heist. Headlines across the globe reported on the largest diamond theft in history. The police launched a massive investigation, but the trail went cold. There were no eyewitnesses, no CCTV footage, and no physical evidence. The vaults had been breached. Without a single person noticing, it was as if the diamonds had vanished into thin air. Over the next few years, investigators slowly began piecing together the details of the heist. They learned that Notarbartolo, the mastermind, had carefully planned every step of the robbery. He had even gone so far as to rent an apartment near the Diamond Center for several months, allowing him to monitor the area without raising suspicion. He and his team were no amateurs. They were meticulous, methodical, and untraceable. But the investigation was far from over. As the years went by, more and more details emerged about the thieves' operations. It turned out that Notarbartolo and his crew had been responsible for several other high-profile heists across Europe. But they had managed to stay under the radar for so long that authorities couldn't catch them. In 2005, Notarbartolo was arrested, but the diamonds were still nowhere to be found. Despite being convicted for his role in the heist, the full extent of the crime remained shrouded in mystery. For years, the Antwerp Diamond Robbery became the subject of speculation and intrigue. Where were the diamonds? Who were the other members of the crew? And how had they managed to disappear without a trace? As the investigation continued, authorities discovered a hidden network of criminals involved in the heist. These weren't just thieves. They were part of a larger organization, a criminal syndicate, with connections stretching across Europe and beyond. Some of the stolen diamonds began to surface on the black market, but the majority remained elusive. One of the most fascinating elements of the case was the involvement of the School of Turin, the criminal group that Notarbartolo was a part of. They were known for their precision and skill, and they had been responsible for several other heists in the past. But the Antwerp Diamond Robbery was their crowning achievement. It wasn't just the money they had stolen, it was the way they had done it. With a calm, calculated approach, they had managed to pull off the impossible. Despite the arrest of Notarbartolo and other key members of the crew, the diamonds remained largely unaccounted for. Some were recovered, but many were lost forever. The Antwerp Diamond Robbery remains one of the greatest unsolved crimes in history, a testament to the skill and cunning of the criminals involved. The heist also highlighted the vulnerabilities in the world's most secure vaults. If the Antwerp Diamond Center, with its cutting-edge security systems, could be breached so easily, what other high-value targets were vulnerable to the same fate? The heist sent shockwaves through the diamond industry, and security protocols at diamond centers across the world were immediately reviewed and upgraded. But for all the efforts to tighten security, the diamonds remained elusive. They were never fully recovered, and the story of the heist of the century became one of the greatest mysteries of our time. It raised questions about the limits of security, the nature of high-stakes crime, and the lengths to which criminals would go for the ultimate prize. To this day, the Antwerp Diamond Robbery stands as a chilling reminder of how even the most secure places can be breached by those with the right skills, the right knowledge, and the right patience. And though some of the thieves have been caught and the stolen diamonds partially recovered, the full story remains incomplete. The diamonds are still out there, hidden in the shadows, waiting to be found. Or perhaps they're gone forever, slipping through the cracks of time, leaving behind only questions and the lingering scent of mystery. The Antwerp Diamond Robbery is not just a story of stolen diamonds. It's a tale of deception, of skill, of ambition, and of how the world's most secure vaults can be rendered meaningless in the face of criminal brilliance. It's the story of how a group of thieves pulled off the perfect heist, and how, for all their meticulous planning, they still left behind one final question. Where are the diamonds?